I sold my apartment in the city and spent every last dollar on this abandoned farm. I've got almost nothing. Just a pickup truck and the will to work. Can I bring this place back to life and actually turn a profit? If you're curious, hit that like button and let's find out together. And here's what greeted me. Oh my god. What a disaster. Everything is overgrown, grass as high as my waist, bushes tangled so tight you can't even pass, and wild shrubs swallowing up the place. Trees sprouting everywhere. It's not a farm, it's a jungle. But after I fought my way through the mess, I found at least something worth holding on to. An ancient garage, a forgotten farmhouse, and even a chicken coop hiding in the thickets. The atmosphere here is mysterious, but living in this chaos? Impossible. My heart is racing. What if I've made the biggest mistake of my life? No, I need to keep going. Let's see what equipment is still left behind. I step into the garage and... wait, what's this? No way! An old trailer? It's covered in dust and cobwebs, but it looks like it could still work. And this is a tractor. A real old tractor. I just stand there, staring, unable to believe my eyes. It's a treasure. Looks like it's been sitting here for maybe 15 years, completely forgotten. But the body is intact, the tires aren't flat. Could it still run? Pushing through some bushes by the house, I stumble upon something metallic. An old mower. Rusty and cracked, but still holding its shape. My hands are shaking with excitement. Could I really be this lucky? Let's try to start the main prize, the tractor. I climb into the cab. It smells of old leather and engine oil. I turn the key and... silence. Absolute silence. My heart sinks. The battery is as dead as a rock. That's when the reality hits me. I don't have a single penny left. Everything went into buying this farm. I barely have enough for bread. And now I need spare parts, fuel, tools. Even the oil has to be changed. It's ancient. But giving up is not an option. I jump into my pickup and head to town, straight to the auto shop. There it is. I tell the owner my whole story, how I sold my apartment, how I dream of building this farm. I beg him to let me take a battery and some oil on credit, promising I'll pay him back soon. He stares at me for a long while, but finally he softens and agrees. He actually gives me the parts. What a relief. There are still good people in this world. I rush back to the farm as fast as I can. Back at the farm, my hands are trembling. I install the battery, swap the oil. This is it, my last hope. If the tractor doesn't start, I honestly don't know what I'll do. I sit down, take a deep breath, and turn the key. The starter turns, and then engine noise. It's alive. I can't believe it. The tractor actually runs. The gears engage. It starts moving. Even the headlights work. This is incredible. Now I need to make my first bit of money so I can repay the debt. I look around. There's grass everywhere. Thick, lush, and growing wild. This is my chance. I can clear the land and earn cash at the same time by selling the hay. I hitch the old mower to the tractor. My hands are shaking. What if it just falls apart? But it holds. Still, it won't engage. My excitement fades, but not for long. Turns out I just needed to give the tractor more throttle. The shaft driving the mower was seized up after sitting for so many years. And now, it works. The mower is alive. Time to cut some grass. Oh man, this feels amazing. The grass falls in neat rows. The tractor rattles like music to my ears. For the first time, I feel like a real farmer. But an hour later, I realized the problem. How am I going to collect all this grass? I don't own any harvesting machines. So there's only one option, a trailer and a shovel. I hook the trailer to my pickup. Luckily, it's still solid and in good shape. I grab the shovel and start loading grass by hand. My back aches, my palms are raw, but I'm filled with joy. Every single shovel of grass means money. Finally, the trailer is full. Now the big question, who's going to buy it? Then I remember, on the way here I saw a farm with cows. That's where I'm headed. The owner comes out and says she always needs grass. She raises all kinds of animals, so she's happy to get more feed. For the full trailer, she gives me $228. Not much, but it's my very first earnings on this farm. Tears well up in my eyes from pure joy. Later, I gather another almost full trailer of grass and head back. This time it's less, but still, $199 in my pocket. Enough to repay my debt and even have a little left over. But then, another surprise awaits. While pushing through the overgrowth near the shed, my foot hits something hard. I clear away the grass, and there it is. An old axe. The steel is rusty, but the blade is still sharp. A gift from fate. I look around. There are so many trees here, standing in the way. And firewood always sells well. Time to clear this mess and make some money while I'm at it. And as I fight through the thickest bushes behind the shed, I see something unbelievable. Hidden under the vegetation. An old pickup truck. At first I think, it's just junk. But then I notice the glass is intact and the tires aren't even flat. I climb up to the cab, pull the door open, and I can't believe it. The key is still in the ignition. My heart pounds so loud I can hear it in my ears. I think, why not? I turn the key and the engine fires up. On the very first try, this old wreck still runs. Now I've got a tractor, a mower, a trailer, and even an old pickup. With new energy, I grab the axe and start chopping down trees. Every swing feels like money in the bank. My arms burn, sweat stings my eyes, but I swing with the passion of a man whose life depends on it. The trees are down, but how to haul them? I cut them into smaller logs so they'll fit into the truck bed. Time to try my first run with the old pickup. Off to the sawmill. That's where I'll sell them. Of course, not everything fits, so I'll need another trip. But the old truck handles the load surprisingly well. They tell me to unload right here. For this batch of logs, I get $1,500. That's many times more than grass. I need to bring the rest. For the full haul of wood, I make $5,500. Incredible! I never expected that much from trees. Most importantly, the work is moving forward. The farm is coming alive. Clearing the farm takes me until late evening, and finally, I can rest. And now, it's time to look at the real treasure of this farm, the field. I walk over and, oh my God, what a sight! This isn't a field, it's a sea of weeds, taller than me. Once, maybe wheat or sunflowers grew here, now it's just chaos. Standing in the middle of it, I feel my dreams crash against reality. How can I possibly handle this? I don't have a cultivator, a seeder, or money to buy them. But then I remember, when I went for the battery, the auto shop owner mentioned he was also a farmer. I need to go talk to him. I tell him about the field, about my plans, and then says has an old cultivator and a seeder. He's willing to rent them for a symbolic fee. I can't believe my ears. What incredible luck. We agree on a price. I pay him $2,000 plus another $300 toward my debt. Then I head back to the farm. I'll need my tractor to haul them. I take the tractor and slowly make my way to his farm. Not fast, but steady. And there they are. First, the cultivator. I hitch it up and bring it home. Then the seeder. Perfect. But wait, I still need seeds. I completely forgot about that. So back to the store. Seeds cost me $1,200. Pricey, but this is an investment in the farm's future. I load them up and head back. I don't hesitate long on what to plant. Barley, the perfect crop for a beginner. Hardy, low maintenance, grows well even on rough soil. And right now is planting season. But first, the field must be prepared. So I hitch up the cultivator and drive into the field. My heart sings with joy. The work is tough. The tractor strains, but the soil gives way. Weeds mix into the earth, leaving behind a soft bed ready for planting. Done! The field is fully cultivated and it finally looks like a real field again. Now I hook up the seeder and get to work. Row after row, neat lines of barley seeds fill the ground. Just look at those perfect rows. I can already imagine the day when my very first harvest grows here. When the work is finally done, I look over the field and smile. My very first field planted. Soon, real barley will be growing here. I can only hope it comes out strong and brings a good harvest. But then reality hits me. It'll take months before this crop makes me any money. And I need food every day, not to mention fixing up the farm. So I decide to ask around. Maybe someone needs help. Let's head into town. I jump into the pickup and go. Here it is, the farmer's market. Perfect place to start. I walk in, talk to people, and suddenly, I'm flooded with offers. Turns out, there's never enough workers around here. I make some deals, and now it's time to bring the tractor and get to work. First contract, cultivate a field. It's a big one. I grind away under the burning sun. My back aches, my eyes sting from the dust, but I push through. Every row is money in my pocket. After hours of work, it's done. The owner is happy and pays me almost $5,000. Amazing. On to the next field. Second contract, another field to cultivate. I take my time and do it carefully. Done. That one pays me $5,600. Next job, this time it's seeding a field with wheat. I drive back to the farm to grab the seeder, then straight to the field. I work just like I did on my own land. Finished! That's another $5,000. Perfect! Now my balance sits at $18,000. Time to return the cultivator and seeder to their owner. The seeder is still attached, so I take that first. Drop it off at his place. Then I head back to my farm for the cultivator. I hitch it to the tractor and start driving back. Everything seems fine, until suddenly a loud crack. The cultivator leans to one side. The mount to the tractor snapped. It's hanging by just one bracket, ready to fall off any second. My heart sinks. This is a disaster. He trusted me with his equipment, and I've broken it. I'll have to pay for repairs, or maybe even a whole new cultivator. Carefully, I creep down the road to the workshop. The mechanic takes a look and tells me the repair will cost $900. Painful, but at least it can be fixed. Once the mount is repaired, I waste no time returning it. I tell the owner the whole story. He listens, then shakes his head and says he won't be renting his equipment out anymore. It's too old, and he still needs it himself. Fair enough. I head back to the farm. I drive home feeling a bit down. But then I think, at least he doesn't know how much I actually made from those contracts with his tools. There's still enough left to move forward. With the money I've earned, I decide to buy something that can bring steady income. Chickens! Perfect. Low investment, fast results, and I've already got a place to keep them. I buy laying hens, 20 of them. They cost me $1,000. I look at them and think, this is my first step towards steady profit. Then it hits me. What are they going to eat? I completely forgot about feed. The chickens look at me with hungry eyes, and I've got nothing for them. I jump into the pickup and rush to the store. I buy 2 sacks of wheat feed. Another $800 gone. But what can I do? Hungry hens don't lay eggs. Back to the farm. I pour out the feed and they dive in with such hunger it breaks my heart. Poor things must have been starving. But now, I've got my very first passive income. Eggs every day. I stash the second sack of feed in the garage, safe from rain and from the hens eating it too soon. I also store the leftover seeds there, safe for the long haul. Fall arrives. Fall arrives. The forest turns gold. Beautiful. People start preparing for winter. Everyone needs firewood. And that's when I hear a problem. I walk into the village shop and people are talking about the local lumberjack. He hurt his arm and can't work. But the villagers need firewood badly. It's going to be a long winter. The lumberjack is sitting right there, arm wrapped in bandages. He tells me how he broke it and can't cut trees anymore. I look at him and think, maybe I can help. I tell him I've got a tractor and I'm eager to earn. At first, he's skeptical, but then he decides to give me a chance. He even offers me a special winch and a chainsaw. Perfect. I head straight back to the farm for my tractor. Then over to him. He shows me the winch and chainsaw. Great tools. I hook up the winch. Then we drive to the plot of trees. Not a wild forest, but a managed plantation, grown specifically for firewood and lumber. These plantations are common around the village, and this one's close to the sawmill. Perfect for hauling. He points out which trees to cut. Time to work. The chainsaw is heavy, it vibrates in my hands, but I quickly get the hang of it. I cut down trees, strip off the branches, haul them with the winch to the sawmill. It's unbelievably hard work, but I do it with excitement and drive. After a few hours, the job is done. I've harvested more wood than I ever imagined. For all of it, I'm paid $8,000. My biggest payday yet. I'm exhausted but thrilled. Time to head home, but not before returning the winch and chainsaw. Then, it's back to the farm. By the evening, I am completely exhausted, but my pockets are full of money. And most importantly, the local people now look at me with respect because I helped them get firewood for the winter. Now I can finally rest. Then came the winter. Of course, there was almost no work on the farm. Spring arrived. First thing I do, I go to see my field, and I can't believe my eyes. Green sprouts of barley are coming out everywhere. My first field is alive, but the joy quickly turns into worry. I still need to make money while the harvest is growing. And then, luck again. One of the locals needs his field to be fertilized. Of course, I agreed to help. He will give me his own sprayer, so let's go. I take his sprayer, fill it with herbicide, and drive to his fields. 2 big fields, but the payment is worth it. I start driving around the fields. The work is easy, just sit in the cabin, steer, and the machine does the spraying itself. The first field is done, now the second one. Also done. I return the sprayer to the owner. For this job, I earned $6,000. Perfect. Now I can go back to the farm. With this money, I can afford to expand, and that means more chickens. Now I have 100 chickens. Great. By the way, some of them are the ones that hatched, so about 40 chickens I actually got for free. But I also need to buy another batch of feed. The old one is already finished, and now with so many chickens, I need much more. At the same time, I take eggs to sell because I already have a lot of them. For the eggs, I got almost $8,000. Cool. That's a really good profit. Right away, I buy chicken feed. Load it up. And take it to the farm. I give part of the feed to the chickens. The rest I put in the garage. Summer. It's hot and my barley is golden in the sun. The ears are heavy, full of grain. The moment has come, time to harvest. The problem is I don't have a combine, but I already know who can help. One of the farmers for whom I cultivated a field agreed to rent me his old combine for a small fee. Just $4,000. So I go to him for the combine. Here it is, old and worn, but the main thing is that it works well. I thought old meant very, very old, but this one is still pretty good. I sit in the cabin, start the engine. It works. Now I drive to my field. A little problem, it doesn't fit through the gate. So I have to enter the field through the bushes. I turn on the header, and it starts swallowing my barley. Grain flows into the tank in a golden stream, while straw spreads behind me. The combine is slow but reliable. And now the tank is full. I need to unload. I bring up my old trailer. The grain pours into it. But the problem is, the trailer is too small and the combine's tank is too big. So I decide to rent a bigger trailer to save time on deliveries. I take the first load to the grain elevator. Unload. And for the first batch, I get $2,400. Nice. Then I return my trailer to the farm. After that, I rent a bigger one for $700. Now, deliveries take less time because I need fewer trips, so I continue working. And now the last trailer. Done. For the whole harvest, I got $50,000. That's much more than I expected. If I had a place to store it, I could have sold it in winter for an even better price. The field is harvested. I am happy. I gathered my first field. The main thing is not to forget to return the combine and the trailer to the owner. So I do that right away. With the money earned, I want to start another business. Chickens give eggs, the field gives harvest, but I want something more stable. And then I remember greenhouses. They cost $36,000 for 2. Expensive, but it's an investment. But where to get water? I install a well nearby. I will plant lettuce, tomatoes, and garlic. Greenhouses are like little factories for vegetables. Warmth, humidity, care, and the plants grow like crazy. I stand near my greenhouses and think, this is it, my stable future. Chickens lay eggs, greenhouses produce vegetables, and the field gives harvest. Meanwhile, it's time again to sell eggs because the chickens laid a lot. I load them up and go to sell. For them, I got $10,000. Great. Now I already have good money and I understand. I need to upgrade my equipment. My old tractor served me well, but it's worn out and too weak for serious work. I sell my old friend for $7,000. Hard to say goodbye, it helped me from zero. But business is business. I look at tractors. New ones are, of course, too expensive. But I find a model that is a bit newer than mine and much more powerful. It costs $35,000, but it's worth it. It even has air conditioning, a comfortable cabin, and the engine is twice as strong. At the same time, I buy a seeder and a cultivator so I don't need to rent anymore. They cost me $12,000. I bring my new tractor home. The chickens even stop clucking. They stare at the shiny machine. I stand near my house and look at everything I built in just 1 year. A chicken coop full of healthy hens that lay eggs every day. 2 greenhouses with fresh vegetables, a new tractor and equipment in the shed. Even the old mower lies near the garage. Not needed anymore, but a memory of my first steps. In just 1 year, my abandoned farm turned into a real business. I have stable income from chickens, constant profit from the greenhouses, seasonal harvest from the field, plus extra money from contracts. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That was Fizbee. See you next time!